What's up, gaming heroes? Welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. My name is Erosium, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at my Shadowlands Alliance leveling route from level 1 to 60. This is the leveling route that I typically use if I'm trying to go fast, if I'm trying to just get it done, get from level 1 to 60 in the most fast, efficient way possible. But anyone who has been supporting me on Patreon, I actually released this written information about 2 weeks ago, so I'm really excited for the rest of you to finally be able to see it in video form. If you want to support me at all, please check out my Patreon. You can get access to my epic World of Warcraft guides on erosiumtv.com. But without further ado, let's get into the video. When creating a brand new character, select a class that you feel most comfortable about, whether you're going to be a healer, a tank, or a DPS. Just select your class and then select the race that you specifically want to play. Do bear in mind that some races don't have access to all of the classes, but choose the race that best fits you and your personality. Try not to pay too much attention to the racial abilities of each class, as this is really something that very sweaty players will do. Try to focus more so on what you identify most as in World of Warcraft and what you enjoy most as. In this instance, I want this character to be a bit of a panda, and I want them to heal. So we're going to choose a customize. This one, I quite like the randomizer. I'm just going to randomize it a couple of times. 1, 2, 3. No, I don't like that one. Trash. No. Oh, yes. Okay. Now select a name, and then you will be provided with two options. Either go with Exiles Reach, which is a really good starting zone that will take you from level 1 all the way to level 10. It's just a really good tutorial which Blizzard recently created to streamline the player experience of leveling from 1 to 10. I really like going for Exiles Reach, or additionally choose your racial specific zone, which in this instance would be Shangzi Training Grounds. This will get you to level 15, but typically for most racial starting zones, it gets you to level 5 to 10. I like going for Exiles Reach as it's a much more streamlined experience and it doesn't take too long. Once you've done that, select Exiles Reach and click finish and do the entirety of Exiles Reach. It's so simple, anyone can do it. Get that completed and you'll be teleported to Stormwind at the end. At level 10, when you have arrived at Stormwind from Exiles Reach, you'll be teleported to this location, which is Valley of Heroes. You'll simply need to talk to the NPC and select the skip option, which basically skips the entire BFA questline, which we don't want to have to do, as it is going to massively slow you down. We're going a much different route for our leveling process. So select the NPC in front of you and select skip. At this point, it's going to be really important for us to go and speak to Chromie and put ourselves on Chromie time. Chromie will be right here on the map for Stormwind. This is a very similar process if you are Horde, so do bear that in mind. For Horde, you will obviously be in Orgrimmar, and you will likely start at the start of Orgrimmar, and you will need to find Chromie, who should be right here. Now, whilst you're on your way to Chromie, I highly suggest you stop off at the Mount Trainer and you pick up your first level of Mount Training. Whilst on your way to Chromie from the Mount Trainer, I highly suggest you pick up both Engineering and you pick up Mining. Engineering won't be very useful to you until the later stages of this leveling, but picking it up nice and early really is quite useful. Mining is exceptionally useful whilst you are leveling, as you get a huge amount of experience, which usually is almost more than 1% of your whole XP bar. So if you get even 20 ores per level, you're getting 20% of your XP bar done just simply by clicking a simple ore. Very useful indeed. Now we simply speak to Chromie and we select Chromie time Warlords of Draenor. This might be called the Iron Horde as well. This is very important, as in the later stages of this leveling route, you will need to go to Warlords of Draenor for roughly 10 to 20 levels. If you don't know already, you can actually purchase a toy which allows you to discover all of the flight points across the world, and you can purchase this from any heirloom vendor such as the one in Ironforge. I would suggest at this point to use those, and that will explore all of the various flight points across the kingdoms that you will need. Once you've put yourself on the Chromie time, head over to Dungar Longdrink or your respective faction flight master, and if you are Alliance, this is where you will fly to Eastvale Logging Camp to start your questing from level 10 to 50. When you have arrived in Eastvale Logging Camp, simply pick up all of the quests here, and then the next load of quests, which will be over at this little hut over here. Once you've grabbed this quest here, head over to the bridge and pick up all of the quests that this gentleman here has to offer. At this point, you just simply need to complete all of the quests in this area and some of the quests which will take you down to the Brackwell pumpkin patch. I'd also suggest grinding out half a bar of XP on the Murlocs near this water here. This is a really good spot for just grinding as the Murlocs spawn really quickly, and there's like a bunch of camps here for you to grind on those, and there should be a little bit of ore as well. If you grind a little bit here, it makes it a lot easier later in the leveling route for you to turn on war mode when you ding level 20. It's easier to get the XP early than it is later. Once you have Eastvale Logging Camp completed, head over to Redridge Mountains. As you enter Redridge Mountains, you will notice there'll be a quest here that you can pick up straight from the wanted poster. There'll be a quest from Daisy Parker, and then if you go all the way up the stairs, there'll also be a quest up here as well. Complete all of these quests right here. Do not go any further into Redridge Mountains until you've got all of these quests completed. They're quite simple quests, such as kill the wildlife around this area and collect some plants from the gnolls as well. Get all those quests completed and hand them in. Then simply head over to Lakeshire. It's really important that as you're going along, you're picking up all of the ore that you are finding, as this is really, really good experience for your character. If you haven't got the toy that unlocks all of the flight paths, make sure you pick up the flight paths as well. When you get to Lakeshire, the first quest you want to pick up is from Little Sean here, who will need you to go into the lake and find the little necklace, which is basically a pile of mud, and there are several spawn locations, one starting over there and then working all the way down to the bottom of the lake. This is usually a very quick quest to complete. Get that one completed and then complete all of the quests in its entirety of Lakeshire. This should take you around 50 to 55 minutes if you're very quick. There is something really important about Lakeshire / Redridge Mountains, and that is the literal second you ding level 20, you want to be taking yourself back to Stormwind. Why do you want to do this? Well, this is really, really important for you to do, and it's because at level 20 you get access to war mode. This will grant you an additional 15 to 20% experience, and with the amount of Horde that you're going to be meeting leveling from 10 to 50, it's really going to be none at all, and therefore I would actually suggest just getting it done. 15 to 20% extra XP is so much time saved, and realistically you're not going to meet any Horde until you get to level 50 when you enter the Shadowlands. And even if you did meet a Horde and they did defeat you in almighty PvP, the time saved from that extra 20% is still way more than it would be to just run to your body once. So make sure the second you hit level 20, you turn your war mode on at Stormwind or at Orgrimmar and you come back. Complete the entirety of Lakeshire. At this point, you have two options, and your two options are you either need to go to Duskwood and complete the entirety of Duskwood. This should ding you all the way to level 30, as if you were using the entirety of Duskwood leveling zone, it's a beautiful zone, and the quests are so efficient and give you a ton of experience. If you don't want to do Duskwood, you can also go over to Loch Modan. Loch Modan is also another area which provides you with an absolute load of experience and is much like Duskwood in the sense of the quests are all, pretty close and pretty easy to get to. So choose one of those two areas and get them completed. Additionally, you can complete both areas if you wish to. It's just ideally I choose either Duskwood or Loch Modan typically, and I get that completed. Complete the entire area until you ding to level 30. Same for Duskwood, do the entire of Duskwood until you level to 30. If you are using the add-on Azeroth Autopilot, which is basically an add-on that allows you to almost automate your questing experience and make it a lot easier and smoother. If you're using an add-on such as that, then I highly suggest you follow these steps. Type in the chat /AAP. This will bring up the Azeroth Autopilot selection box. Select custom path. At this point, this is where I would highly suggest to you to put in your Redridge Mountains, your Duskwood, right like that. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that Eastvale Logging Camp doesn't have a separate quest area because it's part of the Elwyn Forest Hull. Alright, so I highly suggest that you just do Eastvale Logging Camp without this add-on, and then when you get to Redridge Mountains and Duskwood, this will really help you. The reason this is so important to use is because when you get to zones like Redridge Mountains and like Duskwood, this leveling add-on will greatly improve your efficiency on a whole. There will be times where it will tell you to run into Stranglethorn Vale, even though you're leveling in Duskwood, and it won't seem to make sense to you at first, but it actually saves you nearly 3 to 5 minutes of just walking around like a headless chicken. It's a very good add-on for these two zones, and it's very efficient. Once you've dinged level 30, now it is time to go over to Warlords of Draenor. If you haven't dinged level 30 upon finishing Duskwood, then I highly suggest you simply do a looking for group. This will get you the final bit of experience that you need. It could be things like, you know, you're rushing things too much, or you didn't do any, you didn't pick up any ore along the way, or you missed, a couple rares that give you quite a lot of experience. It could be anything. But if you do miss any experience to level 30, do a looking for group. Simply sign up for a looking for group. If you sign up for a time walking dungeon, if there's one available, you will get more experience from a time walking dungeon than you will from a normal random dungeon. This is just the way that Blizzard have currently got this, and it is what it is. To get that completed as quickly as possible, then when you are level 30, fly over to your respective portal room. In your respective portal room, there will be a Vanguard Battle Mage. This is the person you need to speak to, and when you speak to them, as long as you're on the Chromie Warlords of Draenor Iron Horde timeline, this Vanguard Battle Mage will provide you an option to teleport to the blasted lands. Upon speaking to the battle mage, you will be teleported to this area if you are Alliance. Simply run or fly over to Khadgar. Now, it's worth noting that if you are level 30, you should have picked up flying at this point from Stormwind whilst you were there. This is going to be very useful having flying in Warlords of Draenor especially. At this point, you have two options. You can either speak to Khadgar and do the beginning scenario of Warlords of Draenor, or you can simply abandon the quest that Chromie originally gave you to go to Warlords of Draenor and simply run straight through the portal without speaking to Khadgar, and this will skip the entirety of the starting campaign to Warlords of Draenor and take you directly to the garrison campaign. This is entirely up to you. I've worked it out and it's much quicker to skip the scenario. However, the scenario is really good experience and it's streamlined, so it takes you from step A to B to C and to D, which is very, very useful if you're a bit of a newer player to World of Warcraft. If you're a seasoned veteran like myself, it's up to you what you want to do, but I like to skip it personally. Once you've completed the scenario, or you have even skipped the scenario, you will be left on this beach if you are Alliance, and you will need to speak to Velen and complete your entire quest line, which will take you through to the garrisons of Warlords of Draenor. It will basically set you up for the garrisons entirely, and once you've done that, you'll have the garrison fully set up. You'll need to complete the first initial quests of the garrison, such as building the barracks and such as that, until eventually you have unlocked the Flight Master, and you will be able to speak to the Flight Master, who will ask you if you would like to go to Storm Shield Ashran. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're actually going to go directly and fly to Wildwood Wash Gorgrond. You'll see that if you hold the map and you open up the map and you go to Gorgrond, you should actually be able to see a quest around this area here, which will start off the whole Gorgrond area for you. As long as you open up your garrison and you've accessed your Flight Master, you should get this quest relatively quickly. Gorgrond, in my opinion, is the best zone in World of Warcraft for experience. The amount of treasures, bonus objectives, quests alone, and rare elites is absolutely insane. And you can easily get from, say, level 32, 33, all the way up to level 50 from just doing Gorgrond, which is crazy. Now, at this point, using Azeroth Autopilot again, type in /AAP, click Custom Path, and select Gorgrond from this list. If you drag it over to the custom path here, this will allow you to complete that. It's worth noting it's not appearing for me, as I've already done it on this character. As long as you're following the Azeroth Autopilot version of Gorgrond, it will give you so much experience, you'll be so shocked by the sheer speed of which you are leveling. I can take a character myself from level 10 to 50 in around 3.5 to 4 hours. I've done this on stream before, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Keep questing in Warlords of Draenor until you hit level 50. If you follow the Gorgrond questline, this will eventually take you to Talador, which is also a good little bit of XP and will get you definitely to level 50 if Gorgrond didn't. Once you've dinged level 50, you don't have to do anything because you're going to be teleported directly to Stormwind if you're Alliance and Orgrimmar if you're Horde. This is because at level 50, you get taken off Chromie time and automatically teleported to the beginning of Shadowlands. At level 50, you will be teleported to where I am right now in Stormwind, and you will have your faction leader specific starting the Shadowlands questline. It's worth noting that at this point, you will be given the option to skip the more if you have previously completed the Shadowlands on a character. If you have never done Shadowlands on a character, then you will not get the skip option, unfortunately. The Moor does take a little bit of time to get through, and there's a lot of RP stuff that you've got to watch and just kind of be a passive bystander to the story unfolding before you. However, once you've got through that, the leveling route is actually quite quick for Shadowlands, much quicker than previous expansions for the full leveling route. Upon completing the Moor, you'll be brought to Erebos, where you choose to go with Threads of Fate or the typical Shadowlands campaign. If you've never completed the Shadowlands campaign, it will force you to complete the campaign at least once before you get the option for Threads of Fate. If you've completed the campaign before, it is entirely up to you what you wish to do at this point, but personally, if you're really going for speed, I'd highly suggest choosing Threads of Fate. Then follow through the quests, as they basically ask you to select a Covenant and they ask you to select an area. This is an optimal time to select Torghast. Speaking to Talinara, you will be asked basically to select an area. If you select the Moor as your first area, it will get you to start Torghast. Do your very first Torghast. This is super easy to do. All you have to do is come over to this part here, use these teleporters, and then jump into the Moor. It is worth noting that before you jump into the Moor, I highly suggest you ding your renown to level 40 by simply buying this Broker's Mark of Distinction from this vendor right here next to the Flight Path Master in Erebos. If you don't have this option yet, that's because you need to have at least one character on your account which has reached level 80 renown with one Covenant. Then this gets unlocked and you can use this on all future characters. This is a very useful thing. So once you've selected your Covenant, come over here, buy your Broker's Mark of Distinction. This is very useful as you get a huge amount of perks from having level 40 renown, such as stamina, such as additional world quest perks, everything like that. Once you've done that, head over to Torghast. Once you're in Torghast, if you are level 50, you'll get access to this daily quest here from Vinish, who will basically offer you a huge amount of experience to complete one of the wings of Torghast. Accept that quest, complete one of the wings of Torghast. You don't need to get high points in Torghast, you just need to complete it. So blast through that Torghast. Don't worry about killing all the mobs. All you need to do is get just enough anima powers to be able to complete the end boss, kill the end boss, come out, hand this quest in, get a huge amount of experience from Vinish. And because you've now completed the Torghast area of Shadowlands, you can now head back to Erebos and hand in the quest for completing the Moor Torghast, and you're ready to select a brand new area. At this point, I actually stop using Azeroth Autopilot and I actually go my own route, but it's entirely up to you if you choose to do that. I personally like to go with Bastion after I've done my Torghast for the day. I select Bastion, and then I head over to Bastion and I complete every single side quest here you see on the map. You can complete world quests as well, but don't go out your way to complete them. Just do your side quests, as they are very, very useful, especially when you're working towards your main objectives, which is helping the Kyrian with their area. The whole purpose of leveling in Shadowlands is realistically to complete the objectives of helping your specific zone, your specific Covenant, as fast as possible. And that is why completing the side quests and picking up treasures is really, really important. Now, before you obviously head out to these areas, make sure whilst you're in Erebos to pick up Engineering Shadowlands from Hall of Shapes just here, and also Mining Shadowlands, which can be picked up from Hall of Shapes just here. Why mining? Mining provides a huge amount of experience in Shadowlands and just gives you extra passive experience as you're going about the world. It's very useful for leveling. Why engineering? Well, if you are an engineer, you have, especially as a Shadowlands engineer, even level 1, you get access to the wormhole generator. This is a vital Shadowlands teleport that can be used every 15 minutes to teleport to any zone in Shadowlands of your choice. Very, very useful, and I would say it's absolutely vital to anyone leveling a character in Shadowlands. If you haven't got hardcore professions already, just take that. You can buy it from the auction house. You don't even need to craft it, and you only need level 1 Shadowlands engineering. Super easy, right? So we now have the Aid the Kyrian quest, and doing this quest by simply completing the side quests around Bastion and completing any world quests or completing any objectives will work towards that. My experience alone has said that doing side quests is the quickest way to do this. I highly suggest as well you pick up the quest for this dungeon, Necrotic Wake, and you sign up on looking for group or a Necrotic Wake dungeon. You won't get a huge amount of experience by signing up specifically because it's not random, but if you sign up specifically, at least you complete this quest here, and that will provide you with an absolute banging amount of experience. Once you've completed the entirety of the Bastion side quests, you should have the Aid the Kyrian completed, and it will send you back to Erebos to speak to Talinara once again. At this point, choose Ardenweald. Do the same thing with Ardenweald. Complete all of the side quests in Ardenweald. Make sure you grab the quest to complete Mists of Turner Scythe. Complete Mists of Turner Scythe by simply looking for group once again and signing up to Mists of Turner Scythe. If you're not level 60 by the end of Ardenweald, then simply go over to Revendreth and do the exact same once again. Leveling in Shadowlands is such an easy thing. It really takes no effort at all, and as long as you're focused on those side quests, you will blast through everything. Try not to get too distracted with world quests. World quests are a great experience. However, they can be difficult and they can be very competitive if you've got war mode on. So if you are getting ganked by Hordes or ganked by Alliance, then feel free to switch that off. This has been my guide leveling from level 1 all the way up to level 60 in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. I really hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, feel free to smash the like button and click subscribe for more World of Warcraft content. If you want to check out some of my awesome World of Warcraft gold guides and other guides like that, then check out my Patreon, which is connected up to erosiumtv.com, which is a professional website I've designed to write professional looking guides. Thanks for watching. This is Erosium, out.